you want to be thinking about what are the decisions that I'm making today that the future version of myself is going to be really happy I made.
Yeah, absolutely. And we talk about that. We see the memes and we share
Yep.
it. From a personal perspective, though, what's the gravity in that? Because this is obviously, in hindsight, you could see the value that it brought, but you made a very clear decision. I was going to get good at guitar, right? It wasn't just I'm going to learn. You then went, oh, this ties into my values. This could be something really useful. This lights me up. So yes, we say that, and yes, we hear that, and the memes are all over social. What does it actually mean to you, though, when you are going to make a decision? What does that actually mean?
So give me a little more clarity. What does it mean as in, what does it mean afterwards, like the result of it?
Yeah,
or what does
so
it mean in the moment to make the decision?
In the moment of making the decision, let's go both. In the moment of making the decision, how does that tie into the decisions you make? And then when you get to the 2000th hour and then half your engagements, how does it show up in that moment?
Yeah, got it. Okay. So to begin with, the way I go about making decisions, it's incredibly intentional. I have a theme for the year. I have my core values that I have. I have the overarching mission that I'm on. There's core belief systems that I have. They're all like right over there, either side of the mirror. I see them every single day, right? And so from an intentionality standpoint, I'm constantly asking myself, what are the things that I'm executing on that will enable me to fulfill on this purpose, will enable me to fulfill on these values, these identities, these pieces that I've deemed to be most important, right? And so, there is a piece there first and foremost of getting super clear on that, because then it enables you to make decisions quickly yet intentionally in a way also that enables you to continue making the decision. So the decision to begin with sharing that story was, it's going to allow me to make a greater impact. I'm going to be able to give talks on stage, and that's what I'm going to be able to do. And then as time goes on, it solidifies through you continuing to reflect. Like it was a continuation. If I didn't have the insight enough to reflect and given myself the time to reflect and say, I don't think I would have written that on the piano, then my sense of urgency and intention and decision making around it would have still been revolving around the impact, which might have still only resulted in me doing an hour a day.
Well, that's almost like the 80-year-old on the porch, isn't it? It's like the impact's there, but you can get to that any time. Once you realize that flourishing of your values and the creativity, that's what brought the urgency, is what I'm hearing from you.
Yeah, the urgency, and it became a game. I had the Google sheet I had set up, and I had every single day I tracked how many hours I did. And then I mapped it out to 365 days ago. All right, that's about the amount of time. And then I mapped it out and went to 500 days. And it was, if I increased the number of hours that I did, I could probably get to the 2,000 hour mark. And I could have easily gotten to 1,500 or 1,600 hours. But there's something about being able to say now for the rest of my life that, hey, these were 2,000 hours in the first 500 days. From a branding standpoint, that's a really attractive thing as well. So there absolutely was that thinking that was going on in me as well. Because I remember getting to, I think it was around 1,580 hours, or might have even been somewhere between 1,500 and 1,800 hours. And I remember doing a sound check ahead of something that I was doing on a virtual engagement and doing that with my producer. And I remember saying to him, I said, I think I'm there. Because there were specific objectives that I had as to where I needed to get to that would enable this for me to know that it had been a success. So there were specific criteria that I had to hit in order to get there. And I hit that earlier than 2000, but getting to the 2000 was a mission, monumental figure to get to. But I think making the decision to begin with, there has to be a level of intentionality, but you don't have to have it all figured out to begin with in order to get started. So that's where so many people I find go wrong, is that I didn't have everything figured out when I sold everything that I owned and went on this beautiful journey around the world. Like that, staying in those places, that led to a viral video from Colombia that led to becoming a National Geographic explorer, led to a TEDx talk in Rome, led to giving a talk with a grand piano on stage in Canada, led to me moving to the US, led to me delivering all these afterwards. Like I couldn't have even made that stuff up, I don't think.
Yeah. And I love this. So what I really love about that is just the intentionality, but the intentionality is not, and yes, you have a mission. And I know that you have a really clear vision, but the intentionality is not about the end game. Your intentionality was the next step, wasn't it? The intentionality became, this is the next step. I'm selling everything up. I'm going to make sure when I travel the world, I stay in places with pianos. I'm like, the intentionality was just step by step. It wasn't intentionality for knowing the entire pathway, which I think is what is blocking so many people from, especially from speaking. People are sometimes really afraid to raise their voice, right? Really afraid the imposter syndrome takes over. So the intentionality is just about the next step is what I'm getting from you.
It's yes and.
Yeah.
Yeah, 100%. It's the next step, and the next step is able to be decided on because there is a clear sense of purpose.
Yeah.
Right. So the purpose and the outcome, and you don't have to be so, again, it doesn't have to be like the clarity of all of the steps that have to be taken. The purpose could be as simple as, I know I want to make an impact in somebody's life. And as soon as you've got that, you're good to go with a sense of purpose. Like, yeah, the mission will fine tune over time, but you're good. You don't need to think about, usually your purpose is going to revolve around something around that, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's going to be something around being the best version of yourself or making impact in people's lives or leaving the world in a better place. No one's going around saying, I really want to destroy the planet, right? It's just not
maybe
something
a couple.
Maybe a couple of crazy dudes, right?
Yeah.
But overwhelmingly, hopefully the people that are tuning in here, right?
Yeah.
There's going to be some version of impact that you want to make.